Auburn takes on Michigan in what we like to call the Trey Donaldson revenge game. And we have Michigan State playing Ole Miss. Two Big Ten powers, two SEC powers, and a showdown. I think that the coaching pedigree in this one to me is probably the best that you're going to find. Tom Izzo is Tom Izzo, Bruce Pearl is Bruce Pearl, and then Dusty May and Chris Beard are two of the guys that might be next up in those kind of those power rankings. So, what do you make of these matchups? Let's start with Ole Miss and Michigan State.
Well, rematch of 2019 Final Four when Chris Beard and Texas Tech beat Michigan State. So that's interesting. And look, with Ole Miss, this is a team that we came into the season saying a lot of veteran talent that could really help them come March. And it is right now because, like you said, in the tournament you got to have poise. And I thought his team showed how ready they were for the moment. The ball was really buzzing against Iowa State. I mean, they had 15 assists against the Cyclones, and they knocked down 11 threes. So it always looks better when you're able to do that, but you had four guys knock down multiple three-pointers.
Mm-hmm.
Matt Morrell, Rob, I think he's one of the more underrated players in the country because he stayed with the process in Oxford, and I want to give him his flowers. I thought he played a really complete floor game. He had two steals against Iowa State. No, Keyshawn Gilbert was a killer for the Cyclones. They turned the ball over 15 times, but like the biggest thing for me with Ole Miss is can they rebound? They have struggled to rebound the basketball for a better part of the year. They got out rebounded in this game against Iowa State. They've gotten crushed a couple times in the SEC. You got to rebound the ball against Michigan State. Like you have to hang in. Michigan State is that team. They don't necessarily look like it. Even early in a game, they don't look the part of a two seed. But as the game goes on, they wear you out with their defense. And if they get out in transition right now, Rob, Akins, Richardson, Carr, they've got athletes.
Over.
They've got speed.
It's over. Yeah.
It's over, bro. Like that's just it. So
And
can
they
Ole Miss
beat
do
New
it?
Mexico. Jace Richardson didn't even really get it going. That's the X factor. And you mentioned there's two things just to kind of reiterate your point here, Fana. There's two things that I think are really important to note. One, Michigan State is maybe the best rebounding team in college basketball, right? On both ends of the floor. I think that if they're not the best, then they are very much in the conversation for the best. And Mississippi gives up way too many offensive rebounds and does not go to the offensive glass at all. Uh, and the other part of it is Michigan State's a top five defense in the sport, but they don't turn you over. Like that's not their goal, right? Their goal is to make it difficult for you to run offense, force you to take contested shots, and then go get those misses when you miss those shots. And the biggest strength that Mississippi State has, or that Ole Miss has offensively, is that they don't turn the ball over. But Michigan, that's not going to be something that you could take advantage of as for Michigan, right? You're not going to be able to exploit that flaw in their armor. Michigan's just going to play good, solid defense, and Ole Miss is going to have to find a way to create good shots against that defense. I just don't think they do it. I think Michigan State finds a way to get this one done. Um, and
I think so too, Rob.
other matchup there is the one that's like really, really interesting to me because you have the two big system of Michigan going up against the two big system of Auburn, Dylan Cardwell and Johni Broome, Vlad Golden and Danny Wolf. I've I've been kind of fading Michigan to a point so far in this tournament. I feel like they can get this done. I feel like this is a matchup that can work for them. We talk about the turnover issues all the time. That's not really something that Auburn thrives on. So I don't know, man. I have visions of Chaney Johnson and Janai Broome getting put into pretzels against this 4-5 ball screen that Dusty May is going to pull out here.
Yeah, so here's the thing with this game. Michigan's one Achilles heel has been turnovers.
Mm-hmm.
But Arkansas doesn't force a lot of turnovers. If you
Auburn,
look at their
Auburn.
number, yeah, Auburn. Auburn doesn't force a lot of turnovers. It's 11.9 per game. They only average 9. But
Mm-hmm.
it's not like their success has come with some +6, +7 turnover margin. This is where can Michigan expose Janai Broome defensively? Can they make him work defensively to a point, Rob, that he shows that he either gets in some foul trouble or but the thing is they have Cardwell. That's Dylan Cardwell doesn't get enough credit for the kind of defender he is.
Mhm.
He's elite. He was out. His effort against Kalkbrenner the other night, phenomenal. A plus. Absolutely positively A plus. Auburn's perimeter is better than Michigan's at the end of the day. It just is, and that's a problem. And I think Auburn's going to be okay against the two big lineup. If you're Michigan, you need Trey Donaldson to have that just an outstanding game. And if you're Michigan, Rob, you got to say a prayer that Tahat Pettiford wakes up on the wrong side of the bed and isn't the electric factory that he is right now. Because, dude, that man is a bad, bad man.
Yeah, look, I
Get
tend
him
to
off.
think Auburn gets this done and gets the win, but it's 7.5 points, Vanna. I think you want to be on the side of Michigan here. It just feels like Michigan keeps this one. That's what they do. They play close games. They win a lot of
No,
them. They lose
probably.
some of
But
them. They play close games.
yeah, and they broke through a Texas A&M defense and scored 91 points on them, and they only hit 6 threes while doing it. So, like Vlad Golden's invaluable, and they got 26 from Roddy Gale. Like that, that's what it would take. They're going to need Roddy Gale or a Reuben Jones or an Amari Burnett to help out Donaldson in the backcourt. It should be a really fun game. It's again outstanding coaching matchup. And how does Dusty defend Auburn? How does Dusty get up in Auburn? Because you have to rattle Auburn. You can't just let them run their stuff. And let's face it, Michigan has a defense that's been efficient all year, and they've got the leg to hang in. So I'm with you. Michigan plus 7.5, and
Yeah.
maybe they pull it off.
Auburn, Michigan State. I'm going to stick with my Michigan State makes the Final Four pick here. I'm gonna ride with it. It might be a regret. I might feel dumb when Auburn, wins both these games by 15 in Atlanta. They're gonna have a huge, huge Auburn contingent there in Atlanta. But I'm gonna stick with my pick at the start of the tournament. Michigan State beats them and gets to the Final Four.
Well, I picked Michigan State to make the Final Four. What happens if it's Michigan, Michigan State in a rivalry showdown for a Final Four berth? Man, would
Um,
that be? That would be
I
unbelievable.
think the entire state of Michigan burns to the ground.
It
I don't think we survive. I don't think they survive.
would
All right.
be really remarkable. But I'll take Michigan State too. However, tease, I think Auburn's one of only two teams that can knock off Duke.
Auburn and Florida. Is it those two?
Auburn and Houston still.
Houston. I think Auburn, Florida, and I think all three of them. Honestly, I'm still, and I bet this before the start of the tournament, and I can show my receipts if it hits. I think that there's still a very, very real possibility we have all number one seeds in the Final Four.
No, I mean that could happen, and then people will be like, "It's boring. It's boring." Like,
No.
what? Like, no, it's outstanding. It's
Yes.
absolutely what's great for the sport, and the television ratings will show it. So you're
Yep.
talking 20 plus million people that will be watching the Final Four,
Yep.
if not 30.